Howdy. Are you a low-time pilot and you're looking for a way to get paid to fly airplanes? Well, in this video, I've got a single-engine airline pilot job that you may be interested in. Well, hey, I'm Dr. Andy Multer. I'm a flight instructor, a CFI IIMEI. I used to be a corporate pilot, and now I'm a professor of aviation. So, yeah, we got a low-time single-engine airline pilot job, and before I tell you about that, I want to tell you about my website real quick. It's Multer Aviation, and on my website, I've got this link here at the top, low-time pilot jobs, that takes you to my page in which I have all the different low-time pilot jobs available out there that you might be interested in. And so make sure you subscribe. That way you get notified every time I come out with one of these videos. So the airline I want to tell you about is Tradewind Aviation. So Tradewind Aviation, they're a Part 135 airline flying the Pilatus PC-12. And so all you need is a commercial pilot, single engine, to be able to get hired. In addition to their Part 135 airline service, they also do private on-demand charter flights. And so when you're on their website, if you scroll down all the way to the bottom, you'll see here in this left column here, you see About Us, and right below that will be Careers. It'll take you to this website. Now, on this website here, you'll see this Pilot Career Overview. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you that presentation. Now, I'm not affiliated with Tradewind Aviation. I just know they've been around for quite a little while. And so it's definitely a destination that, could be very good for you. And so I'll tell you all about it here. And I'll include the salary, the different pilot requirements, and everything you possibly want to know. So Tradewind Aviation's been around since 2001, and there's a lot of benefits. And when you pull up this pilot career overview presentation that they created, you're going to see there's a lot of benefits, and they do a great job of explaining what it's like working for the company. So I recommend that you read this. So like I said, Tradewind Aviation, they fly the Pilatus PC-12, which is a single-engine turboprop airplane that has an 8-passenger configuration, and they have various routes, and so you'll see it's based on the season. And so, from April to October, you're going to be flying around Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket, White Plains, New York, and then from October to May, you're going to be flying in the Caribbean, San Juan, St. Thomas, Tortola, Anguilla, St. Bart's, Antigua. And then you can also be flying around in the Bahamas from December to May. So it just depends on where you're based and other options. Now, the crew bases for Tradewind include Waterbury Oxford Airport in Oxford, Connecticut, White Plains, New York, Stuart, Florida, and San Juan, Puerto Rico. Now, as a pilot, this is a low-time pilot job, and the goal is to fly as many hours as you can, so that way you can eventually move on to the bigger legacy airlines. And so you are going to be flying quite a bit. Most schedules are 4 on, 3 off, or they can be 5 on, 2 off. Your schedules up to 30 days in advance, so that's very helpful for planning. So when you're working for Tradewind, you can expect to get about 60 to 70 hours per month, and you could probably figure about 600 hours per year. Now this is a Pilatus PC-12. It's certified for single pilot, but because of their SOPs, their operating specifications, they are, whether you're flying Part 91 for their private on-demand charter or for their Part 135 airline flying, when you're in the right seat as a first officer, because of the way that their operating op specs are certified by the FAA, when you're in the right seat, you get to log that time as SIC time. So it does count towards the hours that you'll need when you go to apply for like the legacy airlines. And the nice thing about this being a Part 135 company is that once you reach 1,200 hours and 100 hours a night, you can get promoted to captain. Now, it's going to be based on merit, so how good of a captain you'll be, and the other captains will decide when you're ready for that. But it's when you're ready to be captain, you become captain. One thing that I want you to be clear about, and I'm sure Tradewind wants you to be clear about, is there is a trading agreement. So, it's if you resign as a first officer within 0 to 6 months of being hired, you have to pay back $35,000. Now, I know that seems like quite a bit, but I want you to go into this thinking, hey, if I get hired, I'm making a commitment that I'm gonna work here for the length of this contract. And so that's just part of, having good integrity. It's like, hey, if I make a commitment to something, I'm going to stick to it. And then you don't even have to worry about paying back a flight training agreement. And I think it's great that Tradewind tells you how much you're going to get paid here. So the compensation for a first officer the starting salary is $50,000, which is I think is pretty good. And then once you get promoted to captain, then your starting salary is $70,000 a year. And then there's extra add-ons like you get per diem, you get overnight pay, and then you get extra pay for each additional leg over 6 legs. Now that's quite a bit of flying. So I mean the extra $125 per leg would be nice, but man, 7, 8 legs a day, that's gonna be rough. But then you can also get extra pay for volunteering on your days off. So if you're a first officer, that's gonna be $300 per day. And then once you get promoted to captain, then that's $700 per day. And if you've been starting at year 2, that becomes $1,000 a day. Now, if if you got 12 days off in a month, I doubt you're going to be able to volunteer all 12 days and make an extra $12,000 a month. It's going to be as needed, but hey, this will help a lot on your way to paying back your flight loans if you have any. So not only are you getting a pretty good salary for, low time pilot that gets upgraded to captain, but they do have at 15 months as a captain, you'll be eligible for an ATP CTP sponsorship. So they'll pay for your ATP CTP course and they'll help you with your multi-engine for the ATP check ride. So I mean that's a pretty good benefit that they don't have to offer, which they do. And then a really great benefit about flying for Tradewind is they're part of the United Aviate program. So as a pilot with Tradewind, you can apply for the United Aviate, and you can actually apply to United Airlines and get a conditional job offer to become a first officer at United Airlines. And that way you can completely skip working for the regional airlines. And so once you have 1,200 hours as PIC for Tradewind Aviation, so about 2 years as a captain, and you meet their other requirements, well, then you can go straight from Tradewind Aviation to flying for a legacy airline, which is United. Which, I mean, if your goal's United, hey, Tradewind might be the company for you. So Tradewind also has a pathway program with JetBlue, which they call their JetBlue Gateways. And so it's just 18 months as a captain with Tradewind, and you meet Tradewind's flight training agreement. Then once you meet that, then hey, you can get hired on with JetBlue. So now I'm sure you're wondering, what are the requirements to actually get hired by Tradewind Aviation to be a pilot for them? Well, for education, they do not require a bachelor's degree. You just have to have a high school diploma or GED. They would prefer that you have an aviation-related college degree, but it's not required. And that you just have successful completion of Part 61, Part 141 training. The pilot requirements, it says all you have to have is a commercial pilot, single engine land, with an FAA instrument rating and restricted radio telephone operator permit. So technically, just commercial pilot, single engine land. That's it. Now, right now, the market is pretty hard for pilots, and so I wouldn't expect that you could get hired at 250 hours. It's probably going to be a little bit higher than that. And so here they show you what their preferred experience levels are to be hired as a professional, as a first officer. And so they would prefer that you have 800 hours total time with 75 hours of nighttime. They prefer that you're CFI, CFII, and that you're current and proficient with your IFR experience. And they have previous customer service experience. Now, 800 hours I know is a lot for a lot of y'all. If you are already part of the United Aviate program, well, then you can get reduced minimums, which would be 600 hours total time if you're in the United Aviate program. If you've done your flight training at United Aviate Academy, then that gets reduced down to 500 hours, or 300 hours if the United Aviate Academy leadership says, hey, this is a top-notch pilot. So, but I know most of y'all probably won't meet that. So if you have 800 hours, yeah, I think you'd be an excellent candidate to apply for this. Now, if you're a higher time, low time pilot with 1,000 hours, hey, I mean, now you can be on the fast track to captain. So you have 1,000 hours total time. You're a CFI, you have 500 hours across country from point to point. So remember, this is Part 135. So you don't, point to point just means that you took off from one airport and landed at a different airport. That's considered cross country time. And so if you meet these fast track captain requirements where you have 1,000 hours total time and the other requirements, well then, you're going to get hired as a first officer and you're going to quickly be mentored to become a captain. And then when your captain mentoring is complete, they'll upgrade you to captain, and then you can start building that PIC time that you need to then go on to United Airlines once that 2 years is up. All right, well, that's all I have for you in this video. If you have any questions, please leave in the comment section below. I read every comment and I respond to all of them. And if you've worked for Tradewind Aviation, please mention it. Please give any tips for applying if you have any. And make sure you subscribe. That way you get notified every time I come out with one of these videos. All right, thanks for watching.